Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another update of my project 20 uses, where I randomly select 5 palettes that I have to use for 20 looks. So that's kind of the gist of this project, and today we're gonna be rolling in and rolling out a couple of my previous palettes, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. In case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially, and I love going through my collection using my palettes, and this project definitely helps me to kind of remember maybe a little older palettes, even though lately I've been kind of rolling new unused palettes, so that's been also really fun, you know. And yeah, I do a lot of different projects, so I will link them down below. I'm actually updating this 10 days before, or 9 days before the video goes up, because I didn't know if I'm gonna be here with my entire collection on the day that it's supposed to be up. And obviously, since it can since the randomizer can pick any palette, and I'm currently spending the summer with my family, and I'm not gonna bring all my palettes there, I just decided to pre-film a little bit, but we still have a couple of rollouts, so I think it's gonna be fine. And at least next month it's gonna be even more interesting, since I'm gonna be working on it for 5 weeks pretty much. Since I'm gonna be working on these palettes for 5 weeks. So we're gonna start with the oldest palettes in this project, and then we're gonna slowly get into the newer ones. So from the first intro, where I rolled the 5 initial palettes, I still had one to finish my 20 uses on, and that was the Earth palette from the Avatar The Last Airbender collection by Little Cosmetics. This one we started at 3 uses, and for me the way I count uses of a palette is how many looks I was able to create with it. So if I use this entire palette for a look, it's 1 use of a palette. If I use 1 shade of this palette for a look and then something else, it still counts as 1 use of this palette. So it doesn't matter how many shades I use, every single time I use it every single time I use it for a look, that's 1 use of a palette. And for this one we started at 3 uses in the middle of February, and right now we're at 23 uses, so I've actually used it for the last time today, and that's why I decided to film this update. This is how it looks like. There aren't any pans. I've been kind of focusing on majority of the eyeshadows. There are a couple that I've only used like 2 or 3 times. Well, all of them I've used 3 times, because I was able to knock and left behind this 3 times, but but the ones that I've been using the most is this shade called Kiyoshi, because I've also used it as a face highlight like 2 or 3 times. Then the shade 575, because it's been really working with my Pendos palettes and Pendos eyeshadows. Amashu I've used like 4 times in my brows, and today I'm actually using the shade Daily in my brows, together with a softer brown shade to get like green, but still with a hint of neutral in it, so that's not completely crazy, but to match my new hair a little bit better. So that was my last use of this palette. So we've been able to add 20 uses to this, and this palette, when I first rolled it in the middle of February, it weighed 129.76 grams, and now it weighs 129.53 grams. So as I was able to use up 0.23 grams of product, which is like a quarter of an eyeshadow, I think. I don't really remember how much these eyeshadows weighed. So, you know, good progress. I have used many of these shades multiple times, and I'm just very happy that I got accustomed to this palette, because it hasn't been as used, and this is a wonderful formula and an incredible color story. The only reason why I didn't have more uses prior is because I have so many green palettes, and a lot of greens are in my Pendos palettes, so that's the only reason. Otherwise this would have been so overly used. But this palette is rolling out, and I can focus on something else. Then from my April roll-ins, there was the Undergrowth palette by Cosmic Beauty, which had 8 uses. This is how it looks like. And this one is very much of a green color story. Now it has 9 uses, so I've only used it once because these shades are in the Earth palette that I've just rolled out. So my strategy was to get rid of the older palette in this project, and now I can focus on this one and use this one in the upcoming months. So I still have 19 uses to go. Next was a palette that I rolled in May, and it was this ZC Colorful Animal 4-color eyeshadow in the version X03. It's this little orangey pink color story that was completely brand new when I rolled it in. It had 0 uses on it, and it weighed 43 grams. But now it has 8 uses, so I still have to create 12 looks with this palette, but I've been using it in my brows a little bit with other shades to create like more neutrally cool toned brows. So I've been using this orange with a green shade, and it's been working pretty well. Also, I've used the pink one I think once or twice as a blush, and I think I'm gonna continue or mixing these two as a blush. And I hope I'm gonna be able to do like 2 looks, maybe using the whole palette on my eyes as well. But this one should roll out next month, since I'm gonna have 5 weeks and it only has 12 uses left to go. So this little palette will hopefully be done next month, but we're getting closer to it. Then from last month, we've rolled in 2 new palettes. One of them was the Cherry Palpitation palette that had 0 uses on it. It was unused, and I've been able to use it 4 times right now, 2 in my initial review of this palette and then 2 more just on my own. But because I didn't really enjoy the review and I hated the 2 looks that I did after the review, and decided the formula isn't what I want. It's too patchy, it's too light, it disappears throughout the day. The shimmers don't really look like anything on the eyes, and yeah, like after 3-4 hours you're not gonna be able to tell that you have eyeshadows on. It's just kind of like a mess. So I'm gonna be getting rid of this one. I'm gonna try to find someone who would enjoy this, because I know a couple of people who like much soft, just barely there eyeshadows, but that's not me. And it's not the fact that this is like more of a pastel-y palette, it's just the fact that it doesn't look anything like I would like, because I love wearing pastels, but you have to see them on the eyes and you can't really see these. So this one is rolling out because of the fact that it doesn't work on me, and I'm decluttering it, which that's also what this project is amazing for. I can figure out if I actually really want to keep these palettes, because if you have to use it 20 times, you'll be pretty sure if it actually is worth keeping it. So this one is rolling out. And then we also rolled in the Sweet as Can Be palette by Colourpop, which is the Winnie the Pooh palette. And I mean, it's been only what, 22 days since I rolled it in, because as I said, I'm pre-filming and I haven't used this at all. I've been really focusing on the Earth palette. So this one is staying at 51 uses. I am taking it home with me for this month, so I hope I'm gonna be using a couple of these shades as blushes, highlighters, and okay, sorry, my camera cut me off and I don't know where I ended, but for this Winnie the Pooh palette that we rolled in like 22 days ago, since I'm pre-filming this, we were at 51 uses and we're still at 51 uses. I haven't been able to use it, but I hope I'm gonna be able to use it in the next month, at least like 10 times. I would really like to update the next video with at least 10 uses on this. So we're gonna be trying that. And now we're gonna be rolling in 2 new palettes, since one is done and one is gone from my collection. So I have my Tiny Decisions app, and I think we have 64 options here, because I don't have my really big palettes. Like I don't have the... Actually, I don't know what palettes I don't have here, but I think there's something that I don't. So let's just roll and see. Okay, so Ireland, which actually isn't in my summer palette, but I kind of wanted to put it there. So that's gonna be great, and I love that. So Ireland, and then the second palette. No, it's another green, so that's ugh. And then the next one is Smitten, which is kinda newer palette. So and I love the Smitten formula, so that's gonna be great. Okay, so I have both of these palettes right in front of me. And so the Ireland palette, which is the Ireland North Atlantic Way from Nomad Cosmetics that I've been reviewing last year. I think it was I think it was end of spring. So this is how it looks like. I'm gonna film a little close-up of this. This one is beautiful. I've used it 14 times currently, and I don't know how much it weighs because this one is a little bit too heavy for my little scale, but I will use kitchen scale and I will pop it, I will pop the weight on the screen since I don't want to get up for that. But it's a beautiful 18 pan palette which has a lot of greens, a couple neutrals, so maybe I'm going to be able to use those in my brows. But otherwise it's all just eyeshadows that I think are really nice. It's not my favorite formula from Nomad, but I think it's a good formula from Nomad. And again, I've been meaning to use that. Though this one, I think I'm gonna be focusing on it more after I'll be done with the Undergrowth palette. Or maybe I'm gonna try to use it like 3 times in the next month. I think that could be a good amount. And then we have the Everyone Cosmetics Smitten palette, which I've been reviewing around like February or March, I believe. Unless I'm completely mistaken. Well, maybe it was later than that. But this one currently has 7 uses on it. It's a little bit deeper color story, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be reaching for it right now. But I can definitely use the shimmers because the shimmers are so pretty and very like all year universal. But as I said, I've used it 7 times or like for 7 looks already, and it weighs 208.23 grams. So those are the eyeshadows that I'm working on. And as I said, for the goals, I'm gonna try to roll out the ZC palette. By the next update, I'm gonna try to hit 10 uses on the Undergrowth by Cosmic Beauty and the Winnie the Pooh palette by Colourpop. And I'm gonna try to use this palette like 3 times in the next month, and we'll see with the Smitten if I'm gonna reach for it at all. But I will take it with me to my grandparents' house, and we'll see, maybe I can get some uses out of it in the next month, because I haven't actually worn pinks in a while, so maybe. But that's everything for this update. I'm very happy that we have another successful palette that I love even more than I ever did, and I can't wait to reach for these. I think it's a really nice collection. We have a lot of greens and then a couple different shadows, so I think it could be interesting. Let me know if you're participating in this project. You don't have to use palette 20 times. You can do like project 10, project 15. I know a lot of people do project 10 uses, so it's up to you, whatever you decide. But let me know if you participate in anything like that, and I hope you're having a great summer, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow with another video. So bye.